All right, we're live. So I was having a lot of technical issues getting this game to work because of how old it is. In fact, okay, if you want, for whatever reason, to buy Mystery of the Druids, don't get the Steam version. The Steam version just straight up does not work. So you're going to be seeing my entire desktop for a second while I get this up and running, because it's impossible to close this game's window and keep it running while opening other applications. All right. I gotta go through GOG to open it. It apparently autosaves, which sucks. Here we go. Is it working? Yeah. The weird thing is, this is displaying for me in widescreen, but the only way to get it to display in OBS is like this weird... I don't even know what you would call that aspect ratio. This game was made in 2001. Given that, I'd say that the CGI actually has aged pretty well. Oh no, they've got Times New Roman with a filter. Hey, Chaos Wolf. Totally the same guy that's been copy-pasted about a dozen times. Warhammer 40k lore is weird. Holy crap, that is loud.
That's why I say you're a blockhead, Lowry.
Oh god, I take back everything I said about the CGI not aging that badly.
What do you think the press are gonna say about
It's like someone tried to sculpt a man out of clay and ran out before they got to the ears.
Get the hell out of my sight. And if I have any more trouble with you, you'll be dishing out parking tickets before long. That's a promise, Lowry.
High definition Lowry is cursed.
Oh, and here's my good friend Halligan.
Yeah, they started
burning.
burning.
Infallible detectives of our glorious murder squad. Don't just stand there gaping.
And then the baby started glowing. But anyway, none of that matters, because now we're a detective, and we're working at the Scotland Yard, which is in London.
I'm glad you could make it. After all, you're a busy man, aren't you? Now look here,
that
Detective
hair
Halligan.
was a choice.
I've got used to being surrounded by a bunch of incompetent, half-baked blockheads. But your smart, well-dressed colleague Lowry has just earned himself the golden badge of stupidity.
Wait, look at all the real photographs in the background. Is that the production staff?
Halligan, we've got a bit of a problem.
They
We've
have a
had
really
an
hot
innocent
party.
man locked up in jail. Regrettably, he was killed in prison before we could correct our mistake. Unfortunate affair. And now we got this lunatic killer running around all over London. We have to make sure that at least this oversight is put right. Your clear-up rate so far ought to be sufficient evidence that there's no point in asking you to clear up anything more than a common bicycle theft. But this does happen to be the murder squad. I am the chief of this department. All I have for choice is that blockhead Lowry.
Like, if you ever get to the point where your hair looks like this, just shave your head.
Okay, Chief. What do you want me to do?
Okay. Out of the pre-rendered cutscene. Where did Lowry go wrong, or what mad assassin are you referring to? Where did Lowry go wrong?
Where did Lowry go wrong?
Your dear colleague Lowry dealt with the skeleton murders last year. You should know that, Halligan. Lowry worked on the case for several months.
Hey, Brody.
Finally managed to pull a culprit
You
out
ate
of
all
the
the
hat.
evidence.
A butcher from South London. A married man with kids. They gave him a life sentence. He was in jail till 3 weeks ago.
So the butcher didn't
Pulled
do
out
it?
of the hat, you say? So the butcher didn't do it after all?
Oh, you're a genius, Halligan. He didn't do it. We found that out today.
How could he be convicted then?
He didn't do it. How could he be convicted then?
Detective Lowry imaginatively constructed an impressive chain of evidence, and the court followed his arguments in detail. The public wanted somebody to blame, and they found somebody. That's life.
How do we know that the man Lowry arrested was innocent?
Well, all right, these things happen. But how do you know that the man Lowry arrested didn't commit the murders?
Very simple. Dead people don't go around committing more murders.
There's been another murder.
Exactly, Halligan. A pile of bones has been found in Epping Forest. Supposedly a male corpse. We don't know any more than that. I presume we both agree that it can't have been Lowry's man, eh?
Oh, of course.
You see, I've just managed to get that into Lowry's head as well. You heard it? Lowry's off the case. Halligan, you drive out to Epping Forest and take a look at the evidence.
Of course, sir.
And Halligan, no sloppiness now. I want results. Sensible results. The press has already been terrorizing me this morning. The killer must be found. Do I make myself clear?
Of course, Chief.
Good. This is the file with all the necessary information, and now you better get going quickly.
I like that the press is hounding him, not because they got an innocent man sent to prison for life and then killed, but just because the murders are now unsolved still. Okay, Epping Forest. Oh. I have a file.
That won't get me any further.
How do I leave? He's totally fine with me stealing his matches. Okay. Who are these people? This game is set in 2000.
I'm not thirsty.
The voice acting holds up surprisingly well, though. Photocopier? Okay. Somehow I don't think this guy is the one you want solving anything. New Scotland Yard.
I've got no money for that.
That's actually a Coca-Cola machine. They didn't even change the logo. It's just so pixelated that it doesn't matter. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Hello, Mr. Doyle.
Okay. Halligan wishes he was Sherlock. Halligan's office.
That one is wet.
Become
Anyway,
parched.
I'm already wearing a coat.
Left for a moment to watch the video about Naomi and the... Okay.
Unfortunately, there's no pizza in there anymore.
Pizza.
I won't find anything I could make use of now in there.
Are you allowed to be a detective and have your office look like this if you work
I won't
in,
find
like...
anything I could make use of now in there.
If you work in a building with other people?
The cleaner will empty the ashtray. I can find my way without a map. I know my way around well enough.
Let's see.
There's
I
only superfluous
think there's stuff that
in
I
there.
need to pick up somewhere in here. Gloves. Aspirin.
I've already taken one this morning.
Okay, no aspirin. I think there's another drawer I'm supposed to be able... Yeah.
Is there anything worse than thirst? I'll take it with me.
Your cat is attacking her own tail. Why does he have socks in his drawer? Not even the same drawer. Does he live in his office?
I'll take it with me. Maybe I'll give it back to Miss Browning today. I'm determined to give up smoking. Leave those alone. Leave them. I don't need those anymore. Nope, no darts now. Maybe I'll play later.
Okay, I think that's all there is to get in the office.
I won't find any. The cleaner will empty the ashtray.
He's got his boss taped to the dartboard. Okay. Oops. Forgot to turn off my phone notifications. Epping Forest. Halligan can teleport. Why are the characters back there rendered better than this guy?
Good morning, officer.
Good morning, Detective. I hope you've had a good breakfast. The sight over there is not very appetizing.
His office looks like your room if it was slightly tidy. Same kinda. Have you interviewed any
I
witnesses?
suppose that's part of our job. Have you interviewed any witnesses yet?
Witnesses, sir? There are no witnesses. There was nobody in the park.
Was there really nobody? Not even a tramp?
No, sorry. Just a totally distraught jogger who called us.
A jogger? Has he been interviewed?
Well, he's in hospital for the time being. The shock, you know. We could hardly even take down his particulars.
Why was that?
He had to throw up several times, sir.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah, I imagine that would shake you up pretty badly if you were going for a jog and then you just found a whole-ass human skeleton. Could he have left the bodies here?
Could he have left the bones here?
It's not impossible, but I don't really believe it. He's a tourist and only arrived in London last night. I suppose he came here by accident.
He's a tourist. Since when did tourists jog at 5:30 in the morning? Is he on a fitness trip?
Sir, he told us he was a decathlete. It's his job.
Okay, that actually makes sense.
Okay, officer, that was it. Thank you.
Anytime, sir.
Oh, there's the bones. They're... How do I look at the bones? You noticed how little individuals are watching the stream currently? They must have only began watching because of Snoot Game. Yeah, that's the way it is. I'm okay with that, though.
I should take the bone with me, but...
I have to take one of these. Which is the bone I'm supposed to take, though?
You don't transport a piece of evidence in your coat pocket. That might falsify traces.
Okay, so gloves?
That won't feel different with gloves either. I don't want that. That won't help. My gloves. I nicked them out of the exhibit room. That won't feel
He
different
stole
with
these
gloves
gloves? Okay,
Not a roll of plastic bag. I should think up something else. My gloves. I nicked them out of... That won't feel different with gloves either.
Okay. It is so... The controls are so weird. Okay, bone acquired. Wait, there's also a patch of grass I'm supposed to get.
I need to have the grass examined. I need to have the grass examined.
Yeah, I know, so pick some of it up. Maybe I don't need it. This game is infamously buggy, and there's like a game-breaking bug that you can run into, but that's not for a little bit now. Wait, maybe I should talk to the cop more. Officer?
What is it, sir?
I get the impression that I've lost my wallet somewhere.
I've lost my wallet and I think it may be here somewhere. Have you seen it?
Your wallet?
Could you help me look for it?
Sir, I have to guard the scene of the crime. I'm under orders not to leave this place.
Okay.
Okay, officer, that was it. Thank you.
Anytime, sir.
I don't think this guy's gonna be much help. Okay.
It's always handy having one of these tucked away. We ran out not so long ago, and there was a big commotion on this floor.
I'm only a couple minutes in and I already have a ton of inventory
I
objects.
think that's a form for stationary procurement. Without...
Printer.
Don't know how to use it.
You don't know how to use a printer?
Hello, Janet.
Hello, Brent.
Oh, the polygons. Good lord. It's like a human face stretched over a football.
Have you heard? The chief has handed Lowry's case over to me. The skeleton murders.
Yes, there was no way that I could have missed the conversation between the chief and Lowry.
Have we got a file about
Have we got
that?
a file about that?
As far as I can see, you've already got the file, Brent.
What? Yes, of course I've got the file. But you know that Larry and Stryker have been working on this case. The file contains a load of ridiculous nonsense.
That's okay, dude.
know
You don't
that.
have to say anything.
I need the terminal.
Remember the official channels, Brent. Get the necessary forms and then we'll talk again.
I need to make an inquiry. Janet, right
Damn
now.
bureaucracy. I need to make an inquiry, Janet, right now.
If you start shouting at me, I shall see the chief before you can count to 3. Do you understand? And now leave here, please. Come back when you've got the necessary forms. Here, take this sheet and get it signed.
So the solution to the paperwork puzzle was to scream at the lady. Good to know. I thought Chief Miller recently abolished the security
I thought
regulations.
Chief Inspector Miller had just abolished the security regulations.
I don't
No,
know.
he hasn't, Brent. Is
Maybe
that
this is
all?
the real mystery of the Druids.
Good.
See you later,
See you
then.
later then.
Take your time, Brent.
Also, one of the things that we have in our inventory is her scarf. So you'd think, oh, obviously we have to give her her scarf back and then she'll be nice to us, right?
No, better not. I don't want that. There's no point in that.
It's impossible to give her her scarf
Won't work
back.
like that. Ladies' coats don't suit me.
Why did he steal his co-worker's scarf? That'll just take me outside the building. There he is! This is the famous Lowry pose. So, clearly what happened here, because his hitbox to click on him is not on his model, it's here in the chair where his model should be. I think there's collision on this chair, and so when they tried to put his model into it, for whatever reason, it's got like a transparent box preventing him from sitting in it.
Hello, Lowry.
Oh no, not you, Halligan. You're all I need at the moment.
It's just not your day.
Just not your day, is it?
All the better for you, Halligan, of course. Your last good day in this department must have been a few months ago. By the way, congratulations on your new case. I can't believe the chief has put a loser like you on it.
At least I didn't get an innocent man murdered. Yeah,
The
because
chief has put me on the case because you arrested the wrong man, Lowry. Or had you already forgotten that?
wait, his
The
mouth
wrong
doesn't
man?
move when he
Don't
talks.
Talk nonsense, Halligan. What do you know about it? The man was guilty, a beast. He killed those people and sold their flesh. Prison was far too good a treatment for him.
Alien number 2 spotted. How do you explain the new corpse?
Well, if that's your opinion, how do you explain the new corpse that was found this morning?
My God, London's a big city. It's a copycat killing. A gang of stupid boys, freaked out junkies, how should I know?
Stupid boys don't go around taking humans to pieces like that, Lowry. There's a killer on the loose. Or maybe even several.
Oh, yes, sir, a killer in London. It's just as well that we've got our heroic detective Halligan to look after us, isn't it? Protector of widows and orphans, least successful investigator of all time.
I'd rather not solve a case at all than send an innocent man to jail.
Okay.
That's just your own unique opinion, isn't it, Halligan? Stryker and I did a clean job. The chief can shout about it just as much as he likes, and he'll see how little point there is in passing the case over to you.
Did you never doubt for a second whether you had the right man or not?
Doubt is the virtue of losers. Didn't someone like Shakespeare write that, or was it Plato? Doesn't matter.
I don't think anybody's ever said that.
Okay. I'll talk to you later, Lowry.
Scissors.
Halligan?
Yeah?
Yes?
Might I ask you what you think you're doing?
I wanted to borrow your scissors.
I just wanted to borrow your scissors. Just for 5 minutes.
Forget it.
Don't make such a fuss about your blasted scissors. I won't break them.
Oh, you won't break them, Halligan. You'll lose them, mislay them, not bring them back. You'll do with them what you always do with anything you lay your hands on. I am determined not to lose anything ever again, Halligan, especially not to you. Do I make myself clear?
His wife left and she took
All
the
right,
kids,
then,
but
keep
she
them.
didn't take the scissors. That's not canon, I just made that up. Hmm. Not much to do in here while he's in here. Gonna have to get those scissors later. Yeah, the graphics have aged kind of okay, some of them. The voice acting has probably aged the best. I can see that still holding up if it was in something like a newer production. It's like the overall mechanics and UI and everything else about it that has aged the worst. Okay, permission slip.
No, but that's a form for stationary procurement. Without that, you don't get anything at Scotland Yard. That's a form for stationary procurement.
Okay, now I can...
I need information from the central database. It's about the skeleton murders. But Janet says she needs a signed 223. I've got it with me.
You've got it with you. How nice for you. And do you know something, Halligan? I will not sign it. What do you say to that?
In the year 2000, was it acceptable to smoke a cigar in an office? Why not?
Why not, Chief?
You don't need the database. You've got the file. Make the most of it.
How do you expect me to conduct investigations if you won't allow me to use the database?
How do you expect me to conduct investigations if you won't allow me to use the database, Chief?
You'll have to get up off your backside and do your own work, Halligan. I feel much more comfortable knowing that you and Lowry can't get up to any more nonsense with the confidential data stored in our database.
Of course, Chief. Thanks a lot.
Don't get stroppy, Halligan.
I don't know how to unlock this conversation, but at one point you find out that the reason Halligan isn't allowed to use the database is because after Princess Diana was murdered, he put out an arrest warrant for Prince Charles. Then he tried to play it off like it was a joke. Ah.
Hello, Chris.
Hi, Halligan.
I've just come back from the place where they found the bones in Epping Forest.
And? Trailblazing new findings?
I've got something here I'd like you to have a look at.
Show me.
The bone.
Here you go, Chris. Have a look at this.
A bone. Very likely the right thigh bone. Why are you bringing it here? I had a look at the bones with the forensic squad this morning.
I know, but I've still got a couple of questions
This
about them.
morning?
Well, go ahead then.
What gender was the victim? Can you tell by looking at this thigh
What
bone?
sex was the victim?
Judging by the structure of the bones, I think it was male. I'll
Oh,
write that
crap.
down in my report as well. But I'll tell you right now that you won't get it before the end of the week, Halligan.
Did somebody maybe scorch the flesh off the bone?
No, definitely not. That would look different. I suspect that it was rather cut off, or maybe taken off with acid.
Ew.
Can you see any abnormalities?
I would have noticed them, Halligan. No fractures, no bruises, everything quite normal.
You can't tell me more than that about the bones? Chris, that doesn't help me.
There's really no more to say about the bones, Halligan. Just wait for my report. You'll have it all nicely written down then. Or, hang on a moment. If you're really interested, go and see Professor Turner.
Okay, we've got a
He was
lead.
the supervisor of a friend's PhD thesis. That's how I met him. He works in the Anthropological Museum in Oxford. If anybody can say anything about the bones, he can.
Okay, thanks for the advice.
Don't mention it, Brent.
I don't know if it's legal to bring in like a third party in on a police investigation, but legal is not going to stop Halligan.
Too
Ethanol?
dangerous to carry the bottle around with me. I don't even know what kind of stuff that is. Too dangerous to carry the bottle around with me. I don't even know what kind of stuff that is. Too dangerous to carry the bottle around.
20 minutes later. For whatever reason, you need to dust off the bottles with Janet's scarf.
Too dangerous to carry.
I guess I have to try and go to Scotland Yard first?
Take it with me? Chris surely wouldn't like that.
So I've got to go find the Oxford. Maybe I can go to a new place when I leave the building now? Yeah, alright, the Museum of Oxford. Not bad looking. Oh cool, you can run. Okay, this music is pretty nice. Closed for renovation.
Closed due to renovation works. Great. I don't know what to put in there.
Well, there's the renovator. Does this guy have a Coca-Cola cup? And a Woolworth's bag, which is a real store.
Hello, my friend.
Huh?
How are you doing? Hey, how's it going, drunk
you doing?
homeless man
What?
on the streets?
What do you want?
Have you been sitting here for long? Isn't it too cold for you on the ground? What are you doing here, homeless
What are you
man?
doing here?
Are you blind? I'm having a drink.
Why do you drink
Why
so
do you
much?
drink so much?
Because I'm thirsty. Very thirsty.
Do you still like the taste?
Of course I like it. Dum-dum.
It smells pretty strong, if I may say so. How do you manage to drink that?
I drink everything, mate. From schnapps to aftershave. Most important thing is that it makes you happy.
You don't look too happy, though.
Can I
Can
have
I
some?
a drop?
Get your own bottle, mate. And get me one as well. My bottle's empty.
There's money in your hat there.
There's money in your hat there. Isn't that enough for a bottle of gut rot?
Oh, no. Those pennies wouldn't feed a parking meter.
Why is the museum
Why
closed?
is the museum being closed?
Well, it's been refurbished. At the moment, my business is running really badly.
How much did you, make today?
Well, just a poxy 60 pence.
You're right. You won't get far on that.
Have you seen anybody going in the museum?
Have you seen anybody going into the museum?
Yeah. Just this morning, a woman. A young, pretty one.
A woman? You haven't seen a man?
Nah. Only a woman. She comes here every day. Now and again, she gives me a few pennies. Oh, I think she works in the museum.
Ah, a woman then.
So what? What's special about that? There are millions of women running about in this world.
He's so disappointed that it's a woman and not a doctor. But plot twist.
Okay, I must be off now.
Well then, okay.
Can I take
Yeah.
these?
Are you crazy? That's mine. Hands off, okay?
Alright. Leprechaun? Oh, yeah, he kind of does look like one. I'm pretty sure there's a payphone. His running animation is great.
I can't hear any dialing tone.
Okay, so I need to get the homeless man to give me his coins.
Hey, it's me again.
So what? Haven't you asked enough questions yet? You know more about me than my goddamn mother. Bagger off.
Can I help you somehow?
Help? Help? Nobody can help me.
Hey, don't despair. Everybody has a hard time now and then. Maybe I can do something for you.
Just leave it. I've lost everything. Everything. No money, no flat, no future. I'm finished. Simply finished.
Have you tried working?
Have you tried working?
Listen, mate. Do you want trouble? Are you from the benefit office or something like that? Bagger off, you.
Oh, I didn't want to be impolite. I'm just interested.
Bagger off, pal. You think I'm on holiday here, right?
No, no, of course not. I just meant...
Go on, save your breath. Bagger off.
Okay, I must be off now.
Well then, okay.
Halligan is the least socially aware man on the planet. Maybe... Let's see. Would you like some apple juice?
I got you something. Here you are.
Oh, what's that, pal?
Apple juice. Naturally cloudy. Lots of vitamin C.
Apple juice? Are you pulling my leg?
Didn't you say you were thirsty?
Oh, you dense, mister. I want a bottle of cider. Apple juice is alright in the nursery, but I'm not into that.
Why don't you try?
Get lost. Leave me alone. You can drink your apple juice yourself.
Okay. So
Beggar's flask. Absolutely empty.
I've taken one of his empty flasks. How do I get back to the Scotland Yard? Okay, this way. Now I need to go back into the lab. Wait, this is Lowry's office, isn't it? Yep. He floats eternally in his domain, guarding his scissors. That's Miller's office. So this is the lab.
Too dangerous to carry the bottle around with me. I don't even know what kind of stuff that is. Take it with me? Chris surely wouldn't like that. Apart from that, who knows what's in it? Take it with me?
Okay. I know he can read. He has books. What?
Far too hot to touch. Far too hot to touch.
What's the point? Okay, there must be something to do with this here.
That won't feel different with gloves either.
Okay.
Well, Halligan, how'd you get on at the museum? What did Professor Turner say? Could he help you?
What do those flasks contain?
Something I wanted to ask you, Chris. What do those flasks contain?
Oh, you mean those on the shelves? They contain all sorts of different chemicals I need for my work. Indicator solutions, alcohol, things like that.
Alcohol, you say?
You've got a great job, Chris. Masses of alcohol and everything legal.
Nonsense, Halligan. Do you think we spend all day getting drunk with medical alcohol? Why don't you just try the stuff?
Sure.
Sure, no problem.
Pre-rendered time. Oh, that lab coat. Good. I don't think it's supposed to flare like that. So, the type of alcohol that they use as a disinfectant and the type
Here,
of
Brent,
alcohol
to your
that they
health.
use to drink
What's
is
up?
two completely
Go
different
ahead, try
things.
it. You won't get one of these so often.
If you drink medical
All right,
alcohol,
here we go.
not only will you not
Cheers.
get buzzed, you will go blind and then you will die.
To your health, Brent.
An interesting aroma, isn't it? Brent, aren't you feeling very well? Brent, are you sure you're okay?
Okay, so obviously that was a game over screen, right? No.
God damn it. You could knock someone out cold with this kind of stuff, Chris. Chris?
The creepy music. Also, he passed out at work, and instead of, like, calling 911 or, like, helping, the guy just left him on the ground.
Too dangerous to carry the bottle around with me. I don't even know what kind of stuff that is.
Okay, so... How do...
Too dangerous to carry the bottle around with me. I don't even know what kind of stuff that is. There's no point in that. Now the flask is half full of apple juice.
Okay. The flask is half
bottle
full
of
of
apple
apple
juice.
juice. Hmm. This should be working. I don't know why it's not.
That doesn't work.
What if I just blow the entire place up? Okay. I gotta check.
Too dangerous to carry the bottle around with me. I don't even know what kind of stuff that is.
Okay, so it's... So use the flask on it.
I can't do that. There's no point in that.
Okay, let's see. Guide. Hold on, I was supposed to grab fingerprint powder in here somewhere.
I can't do anything with this. I can't even pronounce the name on the label right. I can't do anything with. I can't do anything with this. I
Okay,
can't even
which one of
pronounce the
these?
name on the label
There
right.
it is.
I can't do anything.
This is so convoluted. It's not enough to go to the bottle and use it. You have to fingerprint the
Look
bottle.
what we've got here. This is the bottle Chris took. That won't get me. A flask, half filled with apple juice.
Oh, now I can take the whole bottle? They waste the nice graphics on the weirdest parts, I swear. So now I've got a flask filled with part
Stop.
medical
I
alcohol.
don't think it's a good idea to take the bottle out of the lab. Chris will be back quite soon. He'll notice it at once.
Put the bottle back. This might be the most convoluted adventure game I've ever played. Back to the Oxford. And in case there was any doubt about what kind of main character we're playing as, there is no other solution. This is the only way to progress. Where is he going?
I've got something for you. Apple schnapps from Detective Halligan's home distillery. My own brand. Would you like to have a taste?
You serious? All right, pal. I'm as dry as the bottom of a parrot's cage.
Why don't you drink it all? I don't mind. And it's a cracker, I can tell you.
Cheers, mister.
Cheers.
This is so sinister. Oh good, he's snoring and obviously breathing, otherwise you'd think he was dead. And now we've stolen his coins. We poisoned a man to make a phone call. Hang on, I better get the phone number, I think. Phone number is not listed anywhere over here. Chill
I
beats to
thought it
poison
wouldn't work like
vagrants,
that.
too.
What shall I pay for? What shall I pay for?
A phone call?
Hey, a phone box. And I don't need a phone card. It won't work without money.
Okay, so let me pay for a phone call then? The hitbox on the coins are so small.
Which number am I supposed to dial? Let's Let's see if the phone number of the museum is listed in here. Museum, okay. Museum of African Studies, Museum of Ancient History. Here, Anthropological Museum. And the extension of Professor Turner? It's here. I've got it.
Just the fact that we have to use a payphone
Hello?
and
Hello, who's that?
Who am I speaking to?
just the fact that we have to use a payphone and a phone book is dating this game so much to the late 90s. I'm calling from the phone booth outside the museum.
Sorry to bother you. My name's Brent Halligan. I'm calling from the phone box outside the museum.
Oh? Why is that?
I'm looking for Professor
I was
Turner.
sent by a distant acquaintance of Professor Turner's.
Who was that, if I may ask?
Chris Hecker.
Chris Hecker? I don't believe I know anyone of that name.
As I said, he's a distant acquaintance. I need Professor Turner to help me with my investigations.
Oh. In that case, you'd better call him in 8 weeks' time. He's on an expedition.
What's your name?
Look, miss... what was your name?
Goodbye, Mr. Halligan.
She's hung up.
We poisoned a man to make a pointless phone call. Okay, now I need to get that lady's name from somewhere. Otherwise she won't talk to me. Maybe the lab guy knows? He won't run indoors. Hey, remember how you poisoned me and then left me on the ground? That was weird, right?
Well, Brent, still got a headache?
Don't ask, Chris.
Have you managed to contact Professor Turner?
Yeah, I phoned him, but he wasn't in.
Not in?
He's on an expedition. I just talked to some woman who works there.
With his extension number?
Yes, exactly.
Well, Halligan, that was probably his daughter Melanie. She works in the museum as well. My friend told me a lot about her. He used to be really keen on her.
So, Professor Turner has a daughter. Thanks, Chris. I think that'll help me.
Okay, now that we know her name, all the way back to the museum. It does a pretty good job at creating atmosphere. Like, it's very eerie, very good for autumn. Let's try this again.
Hello?
Hello, this is Halligan again. Please don't hang up, Miss Turner.
How do you know my name, Mr. Halligan?
Chris Hecker told me that Professor Turner's your father.
Yes, that's true.
What do you do at the museum?
I'm an anthropologist.
The same as your father.
Yes?
Miss Turner, do you think
Bone
you could help me?
scientist. Perfect.
Depends. What's the trouble?
I found a bone that I've had examined at the lab.
A bone? A human bone?
Yes, of course. It belonged to a murder victim.
Murder? How awful.
The bone is from the body of one of the victims of the skeleton murders. I take it you've read about them?
Oh, good heavens, yes. What can I do for you?
Couldn't we discuss that inside?
Certainly. Come on over. I'll let you in.
Progress. You are what you eat. Me after ingesting the bones of the fallen. You're actually not that far off from the plot twist of this game.
Mr. Halligan?
Yes, that's right. Hello, Miss Turner. Nice to meet you. Thank you for taking the time.
No problem. We're closed anyway. The museum is being refurbished.
It's not easy to get in touch with you. I was close to giving up.
Oh, you mean because of the phone call?
The mouth
I'm really
animations
sorry.
work
I do sometimes tend
sometimes,
to be rather
but then
short on the
most
phone.
of the time
No,
they're just
I get unpleasant calls
not.
sometimes, and that's why I'm a bit suspicious.
I see. Well, I finally got in touch with you.
Would you like to come in?
She's going to be the
Would you like a
secondary
cup of coffee
protagonist.
or anything else?
No thanks.
Mr. Halligan, how may I help you?
As I said, I'm working on the skeleton murders. We found another victim in Epping Forest. All the evidence points to the same culprit as in the other cases. The corpse was completely skeletonized. Professional work.
That's horrible. But how can I help you?
My colleague Chris Hecker of the Forensic Lab has already had a look at the bones. He thought that your father could perhaps carry out some additional tests. He is a renowned expert, after all.
Yes, he could do that. But as I said, my father isn't here.
I know, but it is very urgent. Perhaps you could have a look?
You say you've got some of the bones with you?
Yes, just one. Here.
Is it this contaminating evidence? Wait, he just had that in his pocket?
This is a femur.
Yes, that's what Chris Hecker said as well.
It will take some time, Mr. Halligan. Could you wait a moment?
Sure.
Yes, sure.
And now we're playing as her. Recycled assets from the other lab. Okay, nothing to do over here. Forbidden Archaeology's impact.
Forbidden Archaeologies, my favorite.
She's like Laura Croft's lame sister. Okay. Okay, now I need to go to a microscope. It looks like there's one on this table, but... So far, the most professional part of this investigation has been to get a woman who doesn't even work for the police department to do my job for me.
I can't see it properly. There's some metal residue here. It's gold. There's some metal residue here.
Okay.
That's interesting. The notches in the bone were made by a sharp instrument. The sickle matches the notches to a T.
Okay. Is that enough?
Made any progress?
Yes, a little, but I can't quite make it out. Have you got a moment? I just want to check on something.
Sure, no problem.
The magazines, maybe?
Hey, didn't this edition mention something in connection with sacrificial rites in Britain? Let's see. Yes, here it is. An article about the Druids and their sacrificial rites. The
First
latest
mention of
findings
Druids.
indicate that in ancient England it was probable for the most... for their high ceremonies, the Celts usually prefer to use... incredible. It all fits in with this bone. I'm sure the detective will be very interested.
So this man
Mr.
was
Halligan,
skeletonized by Druids for some reason.
I believe I've found something interesting about your bone.
Go ahead.
In my opinion, this bone was worked on.
Back into his pocket.
Yes, and probably with a sickle made of gold.
What makes you think that?
The bone bears notches matching the cutting form of a sickle to a T, and I found a trace of gold in one of the notches.
A golden sickle? Who would use a weapon like that in order to cut a human being to pieces?
That's what I asked myself as well. I found an interesting article which could help us. According to the historian Arthur Blake, the Britannic Druids carried out very bloody sacrificial rites. He found out that such rites took place at major celebrations of the Celts. He assumes that consecrated golden sickles were used for those rites.
And how does he know about these things?
He learned about it from old inscriptions he's translating at the moment. Interesting, huh?
Celts? Druids? Quite some time has passed since then, hasn't it?
Of course, but the descriptions in the article absolutely match the findings on your bone, Mr. Halligan. I'm sure the author of the article can help you.
I'm going there now.
Mr. Halligan, I'm interested in this, particularly because of my job. I'd like to help you with your case. Would you take me with you?
Impossible. It's confidential police work.
Oh,
I
now
have
it's
to see him on my
confidential?
own. I'm sorry.
I'm sure my knowledge would be to your advantage, Mr. Halligan, and I think it would be really interesting to work on a case like that.
Oh, well, when I think about it, perhaps that's not a bad idea at all. Perhaps there will be more examinations to be done. Okay, Miss Turner, let's do it like this. I'll keep you informed on the case. If I hear anything new or if I need your help, I'll contact you. What do you think?
All right. I'll see you later then.
Yeah, see you later. And thank you, Miss Turner.
So she's allowed to manhandle police evidence, desecrate human remains. But she can't go talk to the author about the investigation. He's just Arthur Blake. We have Scotland Yard, Epping Forest, the Museum of Oxford, and Arthur Blake.
This must be it. Pretty out of the way. Mr. Blake?
Yes?
My name's Brent Halligan. I'm a detective from Scotland Yard. I have a few questions I need to ask you.
Why is his wheelchair rendered in higher quality than he is?
I'd rather we discuss this in private. Do you mind if I come in?
I'm not sure. What's happened? Is there a problem with one of my publications?
No, sir. I'm investigating a murder case. Perhaps you could help me? It really won't take very long.
Murder? How awful. But what's it got to do with me?
Mr. Blake, I'd really prefer it if we could go somewhere a little more private. May I come in?
Well, yes, certainly. Come on in.
You're the author of a book on Druids, am I right?
Yes, quite correct. In fact, I'm just working on a revised version for the next edition. But what makes you so interested in my book?
I'm currently investigating a series of murders in London. I've made some interesting discoveries that I'd like to discuss with you.
What series of murders are we talking about?
The skeleton murders. You may have read about them in the papers.
What's he doing with his hands?
Of course. Terrible business.
Mr. Blake, I believe there may be some sort of ritual behind these murders.
What makes you think that?
Dr. Turner from the Anthropological Museum.
Could the pianist calm down a little bit?
Last victim's bones for me. She found residual
Who
traces.
mixed the audio for this cutscene?
Round notches.
Round notches, you say?
Yes. Does
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
that mean anything to you?
Oh.
Doesn't your book on Druids mention ritual
Now
killings?
there's a tambourine.
For which a golden sickle was used?
True. Are you saying these murders are based on the same ritual?
That's what I've come to ask you.
But that's impossible.
Bongos?
It can't be true. It's... My God. It would be unthinkable. It would confirm all my translations. I've been researching the
Flutes?
history of the Druids for 30 years now, but I've never yet found proof of my greatest fears.
Your greatest fears?
Yes, the perfection of the
Ian has
final
got bars
ritual,
on that.
the final confirmation of the Druids' power.
What is this composition? Did they just pick every instrument in the sound effects library and say yes? Okay, tell me more about the Druids.
Tell me more about the Druids.
Well, the Druids were Celtic priests. They were highly respected scholars, responsible for preserving the Celtic religion and science. Their main tasks included conducting sacrificial rituals, medicine, astronomy, and justice. Experts now believe that Druidism began in ancient Britain and spread from there to the European continent, especially to Gaul. The first definite evidence of the Druids' existence goes back to 500 BC.
That's a long time ago.
Right. And for at least 500 years from then on, the Druids were the most important class of Celtic society.
What happened then?
I'm gonna
Well,
need to
with
sample
Britain and
that
Gaul being
when I
conquered by
finally
the
get a
Romans,
soundboard and
the
use it as a
Druids
thing.
were quickly suppressed. Their doctrine was abolished and replaced by Roman texts. And Christianity took over. And by around 1000 AD, Druidism seems to have vanished.
Okay. Is the soundtrack over? What's the final ritual?
What's this final ritual all about?
This is the text I wrote down during my travels through England and France. You know, when you travel through the country, you can feel that many locals still believe in the old Celtic customs. A group of farmers in the south of England let me copy the inscriptions on a megalith that stands in a field there. They claim that there used to be a huge Druid temple close to their house, but there's nothing left of it now. Whatever. I managed to translate the text, at least in part.
Okay, Mr. Blake, please come to the point. What does it say?
It says that the last of the Druids saw the fall of their priesthood coming in the year 1000 AD. In the confusion surrounding the final destruction of the Order, a demonic superior Druid seized power,
What?
using his knowledge of Druid magic, not for the good of his people and to honor the gods, but to submit all of mankind to his rule. In order to secure the survival of the Druids' tradition, and to complete his devilish work, he organized a final ritual, transferring the knowledge and power of the last of the Druids to 5 infants. These infants have always been referred to as the inheritors.
Okay,
on.
that's the cutscene that we saw at the
says that
beginning.
ritual
But
was
if we
not
hadn't seen
entirely
that
completed.
cutscene,
I've
wouldn't
not
it
yet been
just
able to
seem like
discover
this guy
why.
was
But from what I've
absolutely
learned,
insane?
The inheritors are strong and powerful enough to one day complete the ritual by themselves.
What have the murders got to do with this?
Right. But what have these murders got to do with the myth?
Well, that's just it, Mr. Halligan. I haven't told you the whole story yet.
There's more?
Yes. The inscriptions explain that the Druids' inheritors require the life force of other people to complete the ritual.
I see. And how do they do that?
According to legend, the flesh has to be cut off the bones of living humans and to be eaten. Only
Ugh.
then can their life force be transferred.
You mean the victims of these skeleton murders were practically eaten alive by cannibals?
By Druids. Yes.
I don't believe it.
The worst is yet to come, Mr. Halligan.
What? What could possibly be worse than that?
If such skeletons have been found in London, bearing marks of a golden sickle, it can only mean one thing. The inheritors are preparing for the perfection of their final ritual.
Which means?
The myth says, once the ritual has been completed, the world will become a place governed by evil. Dark
Oh
magic
no,
will
what
be
a
unleashed upon
nightmare.
the world, and mankind will have but one choice: to obey or to die.
Great.
Is it not already?
And you really believe all that?
I believe it's possible. You know, Mr. Halligan, I'm not a superstitious man, but I've spent enough time studying Druidism to know that more goes on between heaven and earth than we can possibly imagine.
You're
I
not
quite
superstitious, but you believe
see,
in all this
and
bullshit.
the skeletons that have been found within the past few months fit in perfectly with the Druids' sacrificial rites. The day of the ritual's perfection is drawing near. Of that I'm certain. What we're looking at right now is just the beginning. Before we're through, more people will die, and the inheritors will soon be strong enough.
What can we do about it?
Time is running out, Mr. Halligan. You must find the inheritors and put them out of action.
So this went from being a murder investigation to the worst detective ever must stop the apocalypse. How can I do that?
That's an easy thing to say, but how can I?
There may be a way. During my latest research, I came across something very interesting. If the story I've heard is true, then there's a certain item that was extremely important for the ritual 1,000 years ago.
What is it?
A piece of jewelry mentioned in the old inscriptions, the Amulet of Transformation. You should try to gain possession of that amulet.
The Amulet of Transformation? What's its purpose?
To
I don't know, Mr.
transform
Halligan.
things?
Nobody
Probably.
does. All I do know is that the myth says it's important for the completion of the ritual. If you find the amulet, you may be able to prevent the ritual.
How do you know
How
about
did you
this?
find out about the amulet?
My work led to the discovery of a connection between the Druids of Gaul and Britain. It seems there was a small group of British Druids who fled to France when the ritual failed.
What for?
I don't know. Maybe they wanted to save the amulet. I found out that a 13th century despotic French nobleman somehow gained possession of the amulet. I found a picture of him in an old archive.
Really? Let me see.
That's a drawing.
Well, he doesn't look particularly friendly. Was he
Or
a druid?
real.
Well, he must have had something to do with the Druids, but I really can't tell you how he gained possession of the amulet. However, he is the only clue that I can possibly give you as to the whereabouts of the amulet. I suggest that you make your way to Carmore. With any luck, you may find more clues leading to the amulet there.
We're going to France.
All right, Mr. Blake. I'll get going immediately.
Take care of yourself, Mr. Halligan. Good luck.
Well, that was an absolute waste of time. Remember to take your meds, sir. Seriously, though, everything he said was true, and I can't believe it. Portsmouth. Okay. I'm gonna save. Also, this game has no title screen. When you start it, it just automatically loads you at wherever you left off. File name, Salt Arc. Man, this is old. Talk to the captain.
Hello, Captain.
Bonjour.
Do you know the castle?
You know the castle of Carmore? I say.
I might.
Well, do you know the castle or don't you? When are you leaving for Portsmouth?
In 2 hours. Are you coming?
No,
No.
I think I'll stay here for a bit.
Very well.
Hello, Captain.
Bonjour.
How are you?
How are you?
All right.
You're not very talkative.
You're not being very talkative.
No.
Well, thanks.
Oh, well, thanks for the conversation.
You're welcome.
Good day to you, monsieur.
Shush, shush, shush. Silence.
Which way is the castle?
Tell me, my good man, which way is the castle?
Castle? Oh, you mean the burnt down mound of rubble on the outskirts of the village, I suppose?
Yes, that's it.
What do you want to go there for? There's nothing to see there.
I just want to take a look around. So, which way do I go?
Oh, that's simple. Just follow the road through the village, past the crossroads, and straight ahead. Keep going for about 3 kilometers, then you can't miss it.
Okay,
Have you ever
I'm
heard
pretty
of the
sure
Lord
I need
of
to
the
exhaust
Castle?
all the dialogue options.
My parents used to tell me about him.
Otherwise, the game will get stuck and freeze.
To the children of Carmore, the Lord was a kind of bogeyman, you know. Our parents
See
used
you,
to
Brody.
tell us horror stories.
Hope you have a good day.
What did they say?
That villagers used to vanish, that the Lord would catch and kill little children. They told me, Pierre, sleep now. The Lord will come and get you. I remember it as if it had been yesterday.
Yeah, whoever did the audio mixing for this game wasn't great at it. Have you ever been to the castle as an adult?
Have you ever been to the castle as an adult?
Yes, a couple of times. We needed stones for our new stable. But I don't mind telling you, I wasn't too happy out there.
What did people believe would happen if the Lord came to get you?
You'd be killed and fed to the Lord's hounds. At least, that's what my parents told me.
That's not much of a bedtime story to tell a small boy.
True, but it worked. We kept away from the castle after dark, believe me.
Was the Lord such an evil character then?
Oh, yes, so I've heard. They say he murdered his entire family, not to mention half the household. He was a madman, but I don't remember many details of the old stories.
So the castle burnt
So the
down.
castle burnt down, did it?
Yes, that's right. I think it happened in some war or other, or during the Inquisition, but that was hundreds of years ago.
What do you know about the castle?
Ah, not much. It's supposed to have belonged to a rich family around here many centuries ago. As a child, I used to play in the ruins with my friends, but it's not really safe to go walking around in the rubble.
Why is that?
It's in danger of collapsing, my friend. Anyway, it's pretty creepy out there, especially in the cemetery. There's not much left of the castle nowadays. Local farmers use the ruin as a quarry when they need stones for their houses. There's just a few bits of rubble left, that's all.
I have to
Okay.
go. Good luck with your fishing.
Thank you, thank you.
Hello, Captain.
Bonjour.
When are you leaving for Portsmouth?
In 2 hours. Are you coming?
Yes.
Yes.
Then come aboard.
Wait, no, I didn't want to do that. Are they just playing the video in reverse? Like, did they just flip the aspect ratio when it's going the other direction? Or did they really animate that boat moving 2 times?
It's me again.
Quiet. My God, haven't you been listening? I'm trying to catch fish, my friend.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
Well, how do you like the area? Have you explored it yet?
Not really, to be honest.
Aha. Then what are you doing here again? Trying to scare the fish away, hmm?
No. There were just a few points I wanted to clear up.
Very well. But keep your voice down, will you?
Certainly.
Which way is the castle?
Tell me, my good man, which way is the castle?
Castle? Oh, you mean the burnt down mound of rubble on the outside?
Did I lock myself?
Yes, that's it.
What do you want to go there for? There's nothing to see there.
just
I
want
need him
take
to
look
mention a
around.
cat.
So, which way do I go?
Oh, that's simple. Just follow the road through the village.
The Dark Side
past the
Detective?
crossroads and straight
That sounds
ahead.
interesting.
Keep going for about 3
Probably more
kilometers,
well put together than
and you
this
can't
game.
miss it.
So the castle burnt down, did it?
Yes, that's right. I think it happened in some war or other, or during the Inquisition. That was hundreds of years ago.
Well, I guess I'll try to go to the castle.
This must be the castle. Or rather, what's left of it. Pretty creepy.
I literally think there's nothing in here. Okay, back to the docks.
Hello, I'm back.
Damn quiet, I said. Are you trying to frighten the fish off?
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. I've had a look round the area. I've been to the ruin.
And? What do you think of our little village?
It's nice. But I've got a few more questions regarding our last tour.
Oh? Well, go ahead and ask. But please,
Quietly. Right?
precisely, my friend. You learn quickly.
Fishing.
I'd like to speak to you about fishing.
What would you like to know?
I like your fishing rod. It's a beauty.
Yes, nice, isn't it? It's an enhanced fiberglass telescope ultralight 47. The latest model.
Could you give me one of your fish?
Could you give me one of your fish?
On a normal day, I would, but I just haven't been able to catch enough today.
How many fish have you caught?
Not a single one, my friend.
That's not a lot.
Yeah, precisely. I must try to catch some now, otherwise I will have nothing to offer this evening.
You're planning to sell the fish?
No. I have visitors coming this evening, you understand?
I see. I suppose there's nothing doing then.
Sorry. Why don't you just buy a fishing rod of your own and come and join me? Who knows? If you're nice and quiet, you may be lucky.
Do you mind if I hang on to the fishing rod for a while?
Sorry, my friend. It was very expensive. I spent 800 francs on it, and I'm not going to let anyone else touch it.
What are you planning to catch?
What are you planning to catch?
You may not believe me, but I've caught all kinds of things here. You know, I've caught pike 5 meters long, with eyes like plates and razor-sharp teeth. That's why
The subtitles don't exactly match up with the voice acting all the time.
my hands by one of those beasts.
Do you expect me to believe that?
Of course, it's the truth. I swear it. I even had some photos of one of those fish, but I'm afraid I lost them. They fell into the water, right here.
And now there's not a shred of evidence to support your story. That is a pity.
Don't you believe me? Ask Capitaine Deneuve. He will confirm it. I often show you the fish that I catch.
Who's that? Okay, we got the captain's name. Progress.
Oh, you don't know him? He captains the ferry that brought you here. He's over there, on board. He's experienced a lot and has been all over the place. He knows a lot of stories. Incredible stories.
Oh? Like what, for example?
You'll have to ask him that yourself. I never really listen properly when he starts spinning his yarns. He's bound to tell you a story or two. You just have to know how to deal with him.
How to deal with him?
How to deal with him? What do you mean?
Not so loud, please.
Because of the fish?
No, because of Capitaine Deneuve. He might hear us.
And?
Look, I'll tell you something. Deneuve's a bit strange. He insists on being addressed by his title. It's It's how do you call it? A peculiarity of his.
Oh? Why is that?
He's an old sea dog from a real old seafaring family. Some ancestor of his served in Napoleon's fleet.
Sure.
He himself used to go out to sea doing the real thing. Got a master's certificate and all that. Seeing
You
the
can get a
world,
master's
so it
certificate
says.
in boat captaining?
These days he just captains the ferry. But he still insists on people using his title. He says his rank should still command people's respect.
Oh, well, if that's all, I don't mind. What do I have to call him, then?
Monsieur le Capitaine Charles Deneuve. That's his full title. He'll appreciate that.
Got it. Thanks for the hint. I have to go. Good luck with your fishing.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, back to this guy. Oh boy.
Excuse me?
What?
Monsieur le Capitaine Charles Deneuve.
You're Monsieur le Capitaine Charles Deneuve, aren't you?
Yes, that is correct, my boy. Charles Deneuve, Captain of the Merchant Navy of France. How do you know my name?
I've been talking to a friend of yours, the fisherman over there at the jetty.
Pierre? Ah, yes. Old Pierre. I expect he has been telling you about his pike, the one that was 5 meters long.
Yes, he did. Pierre says you're from Carmore, like he is. Is that true?
Yes, that's right. I grew up here. As a youngster, I wanted to be a fisherman and used to work on my father's trawler. Later, I went to naval college to become a captain of the Merchant Navy of France. I have a small house at the end of the road, just behind Francois' Bistro.
Tell me more about the
Tell me
fisherman.
more about Pierre.
I meet him almost every day. He doesn't have much to do these days. Not since the fishing industry went down the drain.
So he's a fisherman, is he?
He used to have 3 trawlers and 5 employees. But nobody wants French fish anymore these days. They're too expensive.
What?
Now he spends his days sitting at the jetty, catching a few fish for himself and his friends to eat. They meet round at his place practically every evening and talk about old times, when they used to go out on their trawlers every day.
Doesn't he have anything better to do?
Doesn't he have anything better to do?
No, not much. None of the villagers here has much to do, since business is so bad nowadays. Pierre has a small farm which supplies him with all he needs. A few years back, he built himself a small stable next to his house, where he keeps a few animals. His life is rather boring, really. That's why he's always pleased when I tell him a few stories.
How long does he sit there?
How long does he sit there fishing?
Until I come back with my last load of passengers. Since he's had that fishing rod, he sometimes sits there even longer. If I have time, we go over to Francois' place when I'm finished for the day.
Thank you, Monsieur le Capitaine. You've been a great help.
You're welcome, my boy.
Monsieur le Capitaine?
What can I do for you?
I've got a few more questions.
Concerning our last conversation.
All right. Ask me anything you like, my boy.
Pierre says you're from Carmore, like he is.
Is this just what he said before?
Is that true?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, okay,
later,
no. Oh, I can skip. I can skip dialogue. This is revolutionary.
Excuse me, Pierre.
Yes? Now what?
I'd like to ask you something about Capitaine Deneuve.
Have you spoken to him?
Yes, I have. And you were right. He's a very strange man.
Can you really believe everything he says?
Can you really believe everything he says?
Well, I'm not sure, quite honestly. He's a sailor, and they're always full of stories. 50 years at sea are a long time. Enough time to experience a great deal, and for a lot of things to become a bit muddled up in one's mind.
He certainly seems to say some strange things.
I don't think all his stories are true, but there's a core of truth in many of them. You'll have to make up your own mind which of his stories to believe.
Let's see. Why does he only captain a small ferry? Is he a friend? Is he a friend?
Is he a friend of yours?
Friend? Well, I've seen him almost every day for a number of years. He captains the ferry, I do my fishing. When he's finished for the day, we sometimes go over to the bistro for a glass of pastis. Yes, now I come to think of it, I suppose we are friends.
And you get on well with each other? I should think it's pretty difficult being friends with a man like him.
Oh, we get on rather well, really. We don't talk much, you know. If anything, he does the talking. Spins his yarns. The only thing about him that sometimes drives me crazy...
The cat! He mentioned
is
the
his
cat!
damned cat.
We're not
Captain
locked.
has a cat.
Yes. He lets her out here on the jetty in the morning and takes her back in at night. And the damned beast spends all day slinking around here.
You don't like cats?
I hate cats. They steal the fish from my bucket or get tangled up in my fishing line. The nervous creature has often knocked my bucket of bait over, and I've had to go and get some more. I've told him hundreds of times to take the animal on the ferry with him, but he just won't do it.
Okay. There's the cat! Perfect. But first, I think I need to establish
Monsieur le
why I
Capitaine,
need the
What
salt.
can I do for you?
I've got a few more questions concerning our last conversation.
All right. Ask me anything you like, my boy.
Nope. This is so convoluted. Okay, so now I have to stand... here, I think? And wait for the cat to show up again? It's a waiting puzzle. Oh, I'm supposed to be standing over here. There it is! How do I... There he is.
If
No.
I moved... There's no point in that.
Okay. I guess I need to go back over here then. Does he come back, or do I need to leave the screen and return?
I should think about it again. The green scarf. It's Janet's.
Maybe I should leave the screen and come back. No, 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 there it is, there it is, there it is. Got him! So now we have a cat in our inventory, just chilling. And... can I not unleash the cat? Hey, this is yours, right?
Monsieur le Capitaine?
What can I do for you?
Okay, maybe I need to explore the castle area more. You know what? I'm gonna save after getting the cat, though, because I don't want to have to do that again. Got... car... Okay, this is someplace new. Oh, stairs.
It's locked.
Another instance of this being absolutely convoluted. How do we unlock the gate? Case file. Why did that work? Shut up. Oh! We're being stalked by a nightclub bouncer. Are these cockroaches? They look like Matara. I guess I'm supposed to go that way, where the dude was. They really spent a lot of time modeling this area, and... Wait a minute. He's clipping through the ground. They forgot to make the ground transparent on the right layers. I mean, not transparent. They forgot to make it not have... I don't know, collision? Where am I supposed to... Sure is a lot of dead people. Also, is it just me, or does it sound less like he's walking on dirt and more like he's walking on snow? Okay, moving in the right direction, I think. Okay. I need to go all the way back to the jetty. Oh, I just noticed the owl. That's a neat detail. I think it's double-click to get him to run, but it can be kind of finicky about whether or not he actually does it. I like that the game has really loud blasting music when you're trying to listen to what the other characters are saying, but then when you're in the middle of, like, completely empty nothingness, they just have dead silence. Okay. Cat. He had no reaction to that.
Did you see that? Did you see that? It's that damn cat again. She's knocked all my bait in the water. That's the third time this week.
Calm down. You can always get some new baits.
What about my fishing tackle? What about my telescope ultralight 47 for 800 francs? I can't leave it here unguarded. It could be stolen.
Yeah,
I'll have
it
to
could
take
be.
everything with me, just because of that damned cat.
Don't worry, Pierre. I'll keep an eye on your things.
Would you?
Of course. No problem.
Thank you, my friend. Then I'll go right now.
Mine now. So... all of this was for salt. I like that these two guys were standing here the whole time, and neither one of them seemed to notice me wrapping up a cat in a scarf and then using it as a weapon. Okay, back to the castle thing. Then I gotta find a gravestone. So they have a little bit of music, but it doesn't loop. And now it's gonna be quiet. Yeah, here's the graves. Why do I need to go to the graves? Well, obviously... I need to put the salt in there, because it's just rock salt. And then I need to take evidence from the crime scene and crush it into fine powder.
That's the bone from Epping Forest. Wrapped up just the way it should be.
And now I have salt. So I take the salt. Is this not the building that I'm supposed to use the salt on? Oh, it's pixel hunting, is it? This does seem to be a mausoleum, but maybe I'm supposed to be here from a different angle? Okay. Where is the hitbox for this mausoleum? Could it be the front? Hmm. I'm pretty sure I've looked at this from all angles by now. Probably gonna end soonish, but I at least want to finish the salt puzzle before I end the stream. And then I might not be playing this one again. It's a little bit dull.
That's a form for information. That won't. That's salt. Almost as
That's
fine-grained
salt.
as dust.
Hmm. You know what? I'm just gonna look this up real quick. I'm just gonna watch a video of someone else doing it. Okay, let's see. Oh, I am looking at the complete wrong building. That's my issue. So if it's not around here, then... back this way, maybe? There it is! Okay. Salt. Why did that happen? It was the magic of the Druids.
This must be the amulet. I found it.
Okay, back to the jetty. I feel like this could do with a modern remake, but there's nowhere near enough demand for it. Which way was out of here? That way. Okay, cool. Time to go back.
Monsieur le Capitaine,
What can I do for you?
when are you leaving for Portsmouth?
In 2 hours. Are you coming?
Yes.
Yes.
Then come aboard.
And now we have a room suddenly.
It's empty.
They went to the trouble of giving him a drawer opening animation just to say it's empty.
Hold on. I think I'd better leave the amulet in the cabin. I might lose it otherwise, or it might be stolen.
There's no way to progress without leaving the amulet in the cabin somewhere.
I don't think I need to change my clothes just yet. Nothing's happening. Of course, it can't work like that. Of course, not a good idea. Clothes and stuff.
Okay, amulet doesn't go in there.
I'm not tired. Think first, Brent. Of course, it can't work like that.
I can't put it in the drawer.
That doesn't work.
The cursor changes depending on what you mouse over, but you still can't really do anything when it does that. It's weird.
I don't think I need to change my clothes just yet. It's too early to pack. We won't be arriving yet. No, better not.
Where then? You know what? I think I'm gonna call it here. It's been pretty fun. I don't know if I'll come back to this. I might if there is ever a demand for it, but I doubt that there will be. Thanks to Brody and Chaos Wolf for showing up. If anybody is curious about this game at all, I highly recommend the video that Mandalore Gaming made on it. It's really funny, very well edited. Kind of inspired me to get into YouTube, honestly. Have a good November 1st.